Google Sites is a resource for building websites with multiple pages. It acts as a template for inserting your information for the site. HTML is the basis of the internet and how pages are set up. It's the language that creates content on a page by using code. HTML acts as a skeleton for a website and holds the information both presented on the website and the building blocks that structure the flow of the website. CSS is the coding that helps stylize websites and add other design elements. CSS is a sort of an accessory to HTML. Google Sites differs because it has all these components preset, so you don't necessarily need to know coding language to build the site. You only need to know some CSS coding language to add hyperlinks and stylistic components. Google Sites are stored in accordance to the Google account that you used to create the page. Google Sites is interactive by saving your creations and edits along the way, but it is necessary to be online. If you want to access the editing tool after you publish the website, you can be logged into the account that you used to create the website and click this little pencil icon. After you've finalized all your edits, you can press publish and then you can view the published website. You can access the website by clicking the link of the URL that is provided by the creator. I created my logo by going to the Pixlr website and taking a generic black and white photo from Google Images, and that would be my first layer. Then, I would remove the background from the image by using the wand to select the ear shape that I wanted to remain, and then I would use the eraser tool to remove the background. Then, on a new layer, I added 3 different text boxes so I could place the text more precisely and close together, like you see. The colorful lines that come out of the ear I drew on using the line tool, and I picked random bright colors that I felt translated to the diversity component of my innovational technology. For my banner that you can see on top of all of my web pages, I used Pixlr as well, and I used one of their stock images that I felt was simple enough but relevant to my technology. So, in that sense, I picked a globe. I made the colors very saturated and lowered the brightness setting so that my text showing on top of my banner with my name and topic would be more noticeable. I made the opacity of my text fairly high so it would look more integrated with my background. Each part just explained acted as a layer in the process of creating my banner. Like my logo, I had to resize the banner to be the typical banner size. For the animation found at the bottom of my page, all I did was go to the website that was provided by my professor, and I added 3 images that I had edited on Pixlr, and I made my logo overlap this first image, and then I had an image of myself at the end. The real editing I had to do was adjusting the duration of the photos. Moving over to my purpose page, it asks me to indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its intent and purpose, which over here, I basically explained that the purpose of my innovation is to ease the process of language translation and make it a more instantaneous tool. Moving over to the image that you see to the left of my description shows the process of how information is taken into the device and then processed and released again into the target language. Letter B asks me to explain a benefit or a harmful effect of the innovation, and I go into detail over here about how it breaks down the language barriers and some possible positive impacts of integrating this innovation into our life on a daily basis. The harmful impact mostly has to do with the inaccuracy of some translating applications. To the left over here, this is an image of a graph that shows the improvements of translation accuracy in accordance to different languages. Some languages are harder to work around in the translation process as different contexts create a huge barrier in this specific technology. This picture shows improvements that are being made, which is important in understanding the accuracy of language translators. For letter C, it asks me to explain the impact that the innovation has had on society, economy, and/or culture. And I go to describe how it's had a positive impact on the economy and has the potential to positively impact cultures and society by encouraging people to experience other cultures by taking away language barriers. To the left of this paragraph section, I have an image of an ear, and I felt it was relevant because this is a very audio-based technology. D asks me to indicate one field other than computer science which this innovation has impacted or has the potential to impact, and describe the impact. I focused on international trade and business by referring to a study done that showed that international trade grew by 17.5% when using real-time language translation. I chose this image on the right because this technology could be very useful to use in all sorts of countries, even though it doesn't necessarily have the ability to translate over all languages there are. You can see that my video from the video assignment, and I used my phone to record my interview, and then I used PixArt, an app on my phone, to cut down, edit, and add a colored border around my video. I didn't really have anyone to be in my video, so I used my illustrations instead to do a basic video for how my technology can be used. I edited my video at first on Clipchamp, but realized that they had an audio watermark over the entire video, so I decided to use a video editing application called Filmora. I uploaded my images and interview video into the media library bank. For the slides throughout my video that have text over top, I used Pixlr and one of their stock images to create these slides. The background music was a part of the application's stock music, and the transitions I added in places I thought made sense. I could clip and trim the music really easily by hovering over the element on the timeline of the video editor. It was easy to upload to YouTube by simply clicking Create and then Upload Video.
Some pros of real-time language translation would be eliminating the communication barrier between us and other countries, and then the con would include perhaps the accuracy of the translation system that we are using. For instance, like Google Translate on its own is not always completely accurate because languages are so different that they could mean something else in context.
Asks me to describe how a user interacts with the innovation. I reference the multiple ways language translation can be used, such as by taking a photo of a sign and putting it through a language translator, using translating headphones and apps that all play part in the process for the user. It asks me to describe in detail how the innovation's technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas of abstraction, algorithms, programming, and/or the internet to accomplish its purpose. I briefly mention how programming and the internet are used with my innovation, and then I do a more in-detail look of how algorithms play a role in language translation. Letter G asks me to describe how the innovation consumes data as an input, produces data as an output, and/or transforms data. I explain that both input and output data is equally important for this innovation, given it is trying to take one sequence of words to convert it into a different language. Letter H. It asks me to describe at least one data storage concern, data privacy concern, or data security concern related to my innovation. The biggest concern with real-time language translation applications has to do with the information that is being translated, and it can be stored on the application's database. And then it can be accessed by others since there's no confidentiality agreement in place. This image to the right of my paragraph shows that the internet is a place with a bunch of information, and it has an everlasting memory. If you place your sensitive information on the internet, you're basically giving them access to the lock and the key to enter. This image I felt was relevant to the security portion of the website. I found each of these resources to be helpful in some sort of term of understanding the extent to which my technology could be used, or to get a better understanding, a deeper understanding on my specific innovational topic. Clicking one of my specific resources It brings you to the page in which I found a lot of information on the algorithm that is used in real-time language translation. It gives you an introduction to the new algorithm used, which is neural machine translation, and it also gives you some previous history on what other algorithms were used that led up to the creation of this specific algorithm.